my YouTube channel and this video. I am Tina from Tina Hills. I am Tina from TinaHills.com and check out my website. If you have a Taurus rising and a Gemini moon and a Virgo sun, Virgo in the 5th house sun, then this is your video, moon in the 2nd. Your rising is fixed earth ruled by Venus, which is the archetype of the builder. Your moon is immutable water and ruled by Mercury, and this is the archetype of the communicator. And then you have your sun. Moon in Gemini is not a good position for the moon. Moon is cold and moist and Gemini is hot, okay, and dry. So there's just no way she has dignity in Gemini. Now you have your sun, again not a good placement for the sun, Virgo, and this is again mutable earth this time. So with the Taurus and Virgo, you have a trine happening, earth to earth, which is harmonious. So your rising and your sun is in harmony. Ascendant is how the world perceives us. Sun is how we want the world to perceive us. But your moon over there in that Gemini is not, firstly, it is not harmonious with your rising because it is semi-sextile, which is a problematic aspect. Okay, now, and this is the 2nd house, so it can bring about problems with finances and resources. And that mutable sun and moon are definitely clashing because they are involved in a square aspect, which is an aspect of tension, 90 degrees. So your parents were always at loggerheads. That's what sun and moon represent, father and mother. Okay, moon is emotions, sun is how we project that internal chi into the world. So there is always a sort of tension of polarities that is taking place. Mutable is too adaptable, too flexible, too impressionable. Okay, now the degree of the zodiac rising on the eastern side of the horizon at the moment of your birth is your ascendant degree. And the sign on which it falls is your rising sign. The rising sign is all about you. It is the most you part of the natal chart, okay? It is how you are plugged into the matrix. It is the first point of touch your soul made with the 3D world, okay? It's your physical self. First house is the house of self. So it's your body, the way, your psychological makeup, your health, your constitution. Mercury has planetary joy in the 1st house. Okay, and you have your ascendant is how you look, how you gesture, how you come across. When you walk into a room, your ascendant is what people see first, not your sun, moon. So when you walk in, they automatically see that Venusian side of you and that steady, fixed earth side of you. Very beautiful, with a very beautiful voice. Of course, unless, Venus is conflicted. You have a very beautiful voice. And if any contradictions arise, you will have throat problems, even weight problems, because your Taurus is related to banking, finance, food, agriculture, and the physical body. So there is a tremendous connection to food. As you put food in your mouth, it goes down your neck. That is Taurus. Okay, so and any imbalances with your thyroid will see you putting on weight. And Taurus, once you put on weight, it's very difficult for you to lose that weight. Okay, keep that in mind. You can be very temperamental, very moody, very fixed, and very, very stubborn. But you're always looking at rooting, and you don't mind taking the time. You're slow and steady. You're not impulsive at all. Okay, at least your rising sign is not one of impulsiveness. Let's talk about your moon, we'll get there. But no, just by your rising, you're very fixed, very stable, very consistent, very methodical in the way you deal with the world. The ascendant is how you deal with the world, how you interface with the world. It's the Jungian mask you wear to interface with the world. So having your Venus is sweet things. So there could be a very decadent, overindulgent, hedonistic side to your rising if you're tuning into the shadow. Okay, and again, Venus loves sweet things, so binging for sweet things, cakes, pastries, ice creams, and the like. Okay, then again, you can have physical imbalances. You always have to be embodied in this physical self, because Taurus is all about embodiment. Yes, it is about functionality. So even the way you come across, you're a very functional person, and especially drop that Virgo sun in the fifth. You are super functional, very methodical, very, very slow and discerning. Okay, and Taurus is earth, so earth signs bring things to manifestation. Okay, so you can, really manifest well, and you can work hard because you have the Taurus Virgo trine happening. So you're not afraid of hard work. You're not afraid of putting in those long hours. Now, your moon in Gemini, very dualistic. Air, mutable air. Air scatters, and mutable is the most scattering air. Okay, so Gemini has no consistency, very impulsive, very precocious, very naughty, very mischievous. Okay, moon in Gemini. Moon is our mother. It's how we will be as mothers. It's how we nourish, how we nurture, how we were nurtured, our childhood, our everyday habit patterns, our ESP, the mood fluctuations. That is the moon. The very embodiment of our personal mysteries, our connection to our ancestors, to our psychic self, to our imagination. Moon in Gemini definitely has a vivid imagination, but their moods fluctuate, and Moon in Gemini gets very affected with Mercury retrogrades. In fact, Mercury and Moon are two bodies that really rotate around the sun, revolve around the sun the quickest. So they are very quick. The way your emotions move, you are thinking of 1,000 things. Okay, you don't have that consistency that is needed to complete chores, to look at detailing. You don't like to look at detailing. Even the way you express your emotions is through a yang filter. So you don't like to fret and ponder with emotions. In fact, you may not be able to touch base with your emotions. Okay, and then that can have you really conflicted. Taurus rules the throat, and then when the body separates into two with Gemini. So look at the glyph, twins, higher self, lower self. Look at the body, our lungs. So there's an anxiousness, and if you're smoking tons with the Gemini moon, it's not going to be productive. It can harm your lungs and make you very, ill. You need to ground that energy. Hopefully you have that more than, say, a Gemini Libra mixed with a Taurus ascendant. Okay, you have that grounding with that Virgo. Okay, but this moon in Gemini is very much about new experiences and not really being able to root in one place. And there is that contradiction, that semi-sextile playing out. In yourself, you want to root, but emotionally, you just don't know, and the relationships can be very problematic with that square with the sun and the moon. And also Virgo is not great with verbalizing emotions. They're very functional, like Taurus is very functional. The Gemini likes to go over 1,000 things, over 1,000 ideas, move through 1,000 people. They can get bored. But Gemini is a very complex energy. Yes, they can be scattered, they can be, gossip mongers, but deep down they have this inherent need to communicate. And think of everything we do in this world. Nothing can happen without communication. So all signs embody a part of Gemini, because here the soul learns to communicate. Second house moon, you're definitely connected to your earnings. Your sister may be connected to your earnings, may have helped you with projects, maybe working with your mother. Again, your mother was not emotionally available for you the way you expected her to be. And she may have been very scattered, very, one time this, one time that. No, surety in the way she will be tomorrow. She could be, just all over or very critical. Drop that Virgo sun. Okay, your father could have been super critical because the sun is the father. The sun is how we shine, how we illuminate, how we radiate, our soul's purpose. Okay, our ego, the healthy sense of I am, is the sun. Okay, how we take our internal chi and project it. Now, sun in Virgo doesn't do well. Okay, this is mutable earth. Sun really doesn't have dignity in any of the earth signs because he's fire and he's dry. So, he is exalted in Aries, and he's a fallen Libra, the sun. Okay, and the sun also doesn't do well in Aquarius. But here with Virgo, the sun cannot deal with the analytical and a critical side of Virgo. Virgo is all about digestion. It is assimilating, ingesting, and digesting everything that the 3D world has to offer. So there's a very judgmental and discriminatory side to Virgo because, it deals with digestion, also the nervous system. So you have to take care. Gemini also rules the nervous system. So you have to be careful about your anxiety and then eating when you're anxious and developing this really, difficult self-sabotage pattern. Okay, that fifth house, a beautiful house of creativity, children, romance. So having a Virgo, although it's not a good place for the sun, but that fifth house sun will make you very creative, very artistic, and you may be able to methodically do art because Taurus is ultimately about art. Okay, and creativity. And here your Gemini wants to communicate all of this. Okay, Gemini is also very creative, mercurial more than just the creative side like Neptune or Venus. But Gemini wants to communicate all of these creativity, and then Virgo by itself wants to serve. So this is the archetype of service. So you definitely want to serve with the sun in the fifth, but you could do it in a creative way. Maybe come up with some crazy ideas that are very creative, but are actually serving a purpose, like used buses as schools, wheels on schools on wheels, something like that. Something that is because you have to build. You have the Taurus rising, so you have to build, and you have to communicate, and you have to serve. So when you mix these together, you have a very holistic way about you. The way you illuminate yourself is not very masculine as well. It's feminine because it's being expressed through the lens of Virgo. So here Virgo is yin, like Taurus is yin, and that trine with the Taurus and Virgo with the rising and the sun gives me a lot of hope that you are able to project your ambitions and dreams and really manifest. Whenever earth signs pop up, I know there is serious scope for manifestation. So you can use that and you can create something that will serve humanity. Because with both Taurus and Virgo, you want to be functional. Okay, functional, really functional. Virgo is ruled by Mercury, but tons of people think that Chiron should be the ruler of Virgo because it deals with healing. And Virgo sun can totally be like surgeons, doctors, chiropractors, and all of that. But even if you are any of that, or you could even deal with the beauty industry, see service, maybe develop a brand of makeup or work with some makeup that's helpful or, something like that. Because beauty industry is super effective with Taurus. And then you throw in that Gemini that can communicate, and Virgo that has the endurance and the ability to discern, hack things into pieces and put them back together. And make the world digest your ideas through your Virgo 5th house sun. 5th house is the house of joy. So there is a joyousness in the sun. Any sun in the 5th house is beautiful. So here your Virgo sun can be very creative, very childlike, not just harsh, judgmental. But low vibes, your sun is not in a good position. But and it's not even an angular house, it's a succedent house, so you're not getting the full power of the sun. but you feel good when you can be industrious. But touching base with your emotions is key. Taurus can be a bit emotionless, although they not as much as Gemini and Virgo. Virgo has emotions but unable to verbalize those emotions. I think that is a very key to this, and that makes them very nitpicky, very nagging, that nagging energy that Virgo sons can have. Your father could have done that to you. Anyway, do you agree with what I just said? Drop me a comment, like, subscribe, book a reading. Thank you.